It has now been 1 week since the fire ravaged the building and took lives. Our thoughts are with the families and the loved ones of the victims now more than ever, as responders prepare for another day of intensive searches in the rubble. Let's start with yesterday's highlights. As reported during our impromptu press briefing yesterday at 4 p.m., it's following a positive identification that the permanent coroner in charge of the investigation, Ms. Jeanne Kamel, confirmed the identification and the death of Ms. Camille Maheu, who was 76 years old. This was the first victim that we pulled out of the rubble last Sunday evening. We will not provide further details on her death, really out of respect for her family and loved ones, and to preserve the confidentiality of the police investigation. On the other hand, the fire technical rescue teams and the police investigators continued their exploration in new areas of the building from a basket lifted by a crane. In the late evening yesterday, we were able to locate a third and a fourth victim in the rubble and extricate them from the building. The bodies were then handed over to the pathologists of the Laboratoire de Sciences Judiciaires and Médecine Légale, and they will proceed with the identification work. Thus, 3 people are still missing out of the initial 7.
We had a good day yesterday. The team removed several elements from the structure, such as the roof. These elements presented a risk for the progress and the safety of our personnel. All the work was done with great care by the technical rescue team of the Montreal Fire Department. Action plan for today. As you can see, a second crane is on operation right now. It's going to help us in the speed of the work and our action. We are still concentrating a search for victims in the area targeted by the SPVM investigator. I would also like to point the 4 priorities that guide our work and decision-making in the field. In order of importance: first, safety of the staff. Second, search of the victim. Thirdly, the determination of the cause of that fire. And lastly, heritage protection.
Now, as you know, the challenges and constraints that we've been facing since the outbreak of this major fire have made the searches extremely difficult. Nevertheless, the responders from all organizations on the ground remain highly motivated and determined to accomplish their mission, because what drives us is to alleviate the anguish and the pain of the families.